My name is Helen Wilson Roe. I'm an artist. I started painting when I was in my 30s. Before that point, I hadn't really done any art at all. I was just too busy being a single mum and working and trying to just survive. I lived in Easton at the time. I've got two boys, two children, Otis and Ben, and we were watching John Craven's news round, and he mentioned Rwanda. We thought he said 18,000 people had disappeared. So Otis said, what does 18,000 people look like? So we went to the local library in Bristol, and we found some information on Rwanda, and it said 80,000 people had disappeared in Rwanda, and I was so shocked. And Otis again said, Mum, could you show me what 80,000 people look like? So I said, okay, I'll try. And I didn't know how to start, but I thought the best way to communicate with young children is through art. A friend of mine was at university at the time, and she didn't get on with oil, and she had a canvas which happened to be massive. And she said, why don't you just use the canvas? You can have it for free. I'll give you my oils, because she didn't like them. And nobody taught me how to use oils. There's no such thing as YouTube in those days. And so I just sort of squirted the oils out onto a plate with a paintbrush and just whacked it on. That's what I did. I did a painting about Rwanda, and my sons understood there and then what that meant. I have a tool and I can use it. And that was my first painting ever. My biggest skill as an artist is to pick a story up that hasn't been told. So Henrietta Lacks was a Black American woman. She had an incredibly aggressive form of cancer, and she died within 3 months. While she was in the hospital and alive, they took a portion of her cells and they continued to grow. Henrietta's cells are still growing to this day, and she died in 1951. The cells were sent to every major city in the world, and her cells were used for polio vaccination, COVID recently, HIV, cancer, interfertilization, cosmetics, and it goes on. My question is, why didn't I read about her in history? Why is she not sort of put up there as an icon? Because she is. And it's that kind of hidden history that I'm trying to pull through. The same with Rwanda. My initial proposal was to do paintings, but then I thought, oh, well, let's just say let's do a sculpture of Henrietta and put the sculpture in the university. When they said, yeah, I didn't tell them that I've never sculpted before in my life. But what I'm trying to say to you is that never stopped me. What I'm trying to say is, don't be put off by media or mediums. Just, it's the story, it's the essence that's the most important thing. You will find your way. I just wish as a child I had more positive images of Black people as a child growing up, because I might be in a very different place. I might be able to offer more. There's a common thread with the work I do, and it's always about the injustice of Black people and what we've contributed towards society and how it's been hidden. But I knew at some point I would do something substantial for Henrietta, because I never ever, it was never about money for me, it was always about telling the story through me and through the family. I think truth and honesty and integrity are the strongest things I hope I can pass on to my children. I want people to go to Henrietta's statue and think, wow, you know, this is a Black woman in the middle of a city of Bristol in the UK, made by a Black woman in a public space. I want them to say, I can come here and just reflect on my history.